Ladies, gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the Northern European Esports Masters, or NEEM for short. It is round 4. We're here at Silverstone today to show you some GT4 action with 3 different tiered abilities, all racing on a circuit at the same time. What can go wrong? Absolutely nothing, I am sure. But if you want to know a little bit more information about this championship, we're going to go through all of it for you right now. Hopefully I find you well on this lovely Saturday evening. Go and get yourself some drinks and snacks as well for this race, for this 40-minute race. It should be absolutely wonderful. Right, let's check out the information for the championship then. So NEEM is a GT4 championship. It has 8 nations. There are 6 rounds. We are on round 4, and there is 12,500 euros in cash prizes available. If you want to go and follow all of the action in terms of highlights, or maybe you want to get yourself involved, go to neem.gg or at neem.gg on Instagram, neem_gg on Twitch. If you want to go and follow them on Twitter, it's neem_gg, neem.gg on, I think that's TikTok. I'm over 30, so I'm not legally allowed to know what that is. And then on YouTube, it's at neem_gg. So that is all of the information in terms of where you can follow the action. Here are then the 8 nations. We've got Finland, we've got Germany, we have indeed got Iceland, we have got Luxembourg, the Netherlands, we've got Norway, we've got Sweden, and we've got the United Kingdom. I think I've nailed all 8 of them in the right order as well today. So that is your 8 nations that will be taking part in the championship. This is how it works then. So we have a time trial per nation. So each and every month we have a time trial. Next month it will be for Nürburgring GP. So you basically need to put in a lap time. And if you are the top 2 in that time trial for your nation, you will then go and represent your team in the Clash of Nations. You will end up representing them in the races at the end of each month. We've got a race on November the 25th, and we've got the final race on the 23rd of December. So there's 2 more races to get yourself involved. And if at the end of the year you are in the top 50 of your nation, you will earn money. So every single nation has their own little competition within themselves. So you can win yourself cash just for being the top 50 participants in the time trial segment. And then, of course, they have the race segment. If your nation wins, you win €2,500 as well. So that is for the racing side of things. So hopefully that's kind of explains exactly what is going down. Right, that's pretty much everything I think there. We indeed have some leaderboards for you, so check out the standings as indeed has been run for 3 rounds so far. We'll wait for that to pop up onto the screen for you. Here we go, lovely, as if by magic. Well, here's actually the breakdown. So if you are in the top 50, you'll get yourself €120 for being P1, all the way down to 50th position, where you'll get yourself €10. So just by being a part of the time trial, you can win yourself money. So the time trial segment is actually nothing to do with any of the other countries. You are racing against or time trialing against your own nation only. It's only then when you get to the racing segment, which again is happening right now today here at Silverstone, that you then end up racing against the other nations. So it sounds a little bit complicated, but it's not that difficult. So head to neem.gg, get yourself signed up. It is a great opportunity to get yourself involved. Here is the calendar. So today we're October. The 5th to the 18th was the qualifying phase. Today is, I believe, the 28th. It is the 28th. Every day moves into one when you're over the age of 30, as I mentioned already. So yeah, October the 28th, we are indeed doing a race. Next time it will be, in terms of time trial, it will be November the 2nd to the 15th. So November the 2nd to the 15th, that will be your chance to indeed qualify for the event. Our race then for Nürburgring will be November the 25th. So that will be next month. So yeah, plenty of action coming your way, plenty of opportunity coming your way. Right, let's check out the standings then of the championships. Here is the standings in terms of the nations then. So the Norwegian, the Norwegians are winning. They're on 1,209 points. Of 18 players accumulating points to that mark there. So their average points per player is massive compared to the likes of Germany, who are second. They've had 23 players take part, 1,180 points for Germany. Netherlands then round out your top 3 with 21 players taking part, 950 points then accumulated by them. United Kingdom, who are leading for the first part of this championship, they're currently in 4th position with 885 points, 18 drivers taking part. Finland are in 5th, then we've got Luxembourg in 6th, Sweden in 7th, and then Iceland down in 8th position. So yeah, come and sign up and get yourself involved for your nation. I'm not sure whether we do indeed have the driver championship standings. We don't have that, but I can tell you that it is Anders Meyer that leads the way for Norway. Matt Caruana is also tied with him, so they're both on 430 points. at the sharp end. I don't think we've got Matt Caruana here today. No, we do not. But we do have Anders Meyer. So a big chance for Anders Meyer to actually lead the championship. Here's the information for you in terms of what the track is going to be like. GT4 Silverstone Grand Prix. Weather conditions. What is iRacing? So it's going to be dry. Generated afternoon dynamic sky. If that means something to you, then fair play. It does to me. I create lobbies for leagues and stuff. So that makes sense to me. But for most people out there, you're not going to be too worried about that. It is a fixed setup. Fast repairs are indeed off as well. So if you have an incident, unfortunately, you're in a little bit of trouble. I love the fact that we've got a cloud with water coming out of it as the logo for the weather, knowing full well there's no chance of there being any rain. 40 minutes of race duration, and there's a mandatory tyre pit stop. So you've got to change your 4 tyres once you go into the pits. You can indeed do a split in terms of fuel, so you can refuel the car, or you can start the race with all the fuel you need. It really depends on what you're up to. It's very interesting in terms of strategy. We've seen at the start, the first round of this season, it was very much beneficial to stay out longer in terms of the pit stops, and it was a big benefit to you in terms of your track position. And then in the second round at Skogan, it was beneficial to come in early. So what happens here today at Silverstone, it remains to be seen. It's a big, long circuit as well with these GT4 machines, so it's a long lap time. So if the undercut is powerful, then ultimately there's going to be a big advantage to be gained. Right, they're all out there in their practice session. Qualifying is going to begin in about 13, maybe 11 minutes, I think, something like that. So we're going to go to qualifying very, very shortly. But shall we have a look at what drivers we have then? Let's start from the top then. Let's start from the top qualified drivers. We've got Roop or Kusti Kirkipa, who last time out managed to get a podium. So finished in P3. We've got then Jeremy Ostring, who is in the Porsche Cayman as well. They're both from Finland. For Kirkipa, he is an Alastaro esports driver. And also for Alastaro esports, it is indeed Jeremy Ostring. Timo Hayden in the Aston Martin GT4, the first Aston Martin for Germany. He races for Impulse Racing. We then have Lucas Richter, who took part for the first time last time out, races for Get Pole Racing and, of course, racing for Germany today. We've then got Stefan Margaretsen, who is racing for Iceland. And he loves dried fish, apparently. He doesn't know whether it makes him fast or slow, but he does like dried fish. Thank you very much for that information there. That is something that I will now take to the grave. We've got Haraldsson, who is also racing for Iceland. And there's no fun facts about him, didn't provide any information. So, yeah, may just fly under the radar here and may get a big result. Who knows? So this 6 of your Tier 1 drivers. We then have our first Luxembourg driver, and that is Loic Neno, also racing in the Porsche 718 Cayman. Well, he just put a question of what happened in my last race? Well, he spun. So today it is a chance of retribution. Margaretsen, who's running for Iceland that we just previously saw. It was the first AMG on the grid, by the way. Next driver then for the Netherlands, it is Jens van Eyck. He is in the BMW M4 GT4. He's an open wheel main racer. That's what he likes to do. He's not experienced when it comes to GT cars, but he's qualified here into Tier 1. So great job then from Jens van Eyck. And actually, for him to have been qualified here with Sam Keitel currently in P4 in the championship for the Netherlands, like he could do with some big points here to help his nation. For Norway then, the championship leaders, we've got Anders Meyer, who managed to finish in second spot last time. Sorry, he managed to win the race last time out, did Anders Meyer. And then we've got Jarl Tayen. I imagine they're both going to be in the McLarens. Jarl Tayen is one of the OGs in terms of sim racing, been around a long time and tends to be very quick and always at the sharp end of the grid. Samuel Ward in the Aston Martin. Of course, he's in an Aston Martin. He is representing Sweden. He loves the Aston Martin, does Samuel Ward. Gareth Higgins, then the first driver from the United Kingdom, is in the Porsche 718 Cayman GT4. We then, of course, have Daniel Thomas, representing the United Kingdom as well. United Kingdom needing some big points today. Currently about 320, well, they are 324 points then off of being up towards the lead. Need to get themselves back up there. And that is the Tier 1 drivers who are on the grid. The last time you saw a race, it wasn't me commentating. It was Zach actually commentating. And it was the first time that they introduced all the top 3 tiers together in one race, meaning we've got more cars. So we will now introduce Tier 2 and indeed Tier 3. And that's the good thing about this championship is that they listened. And it's actually my idea to put the tiers together. And yeah, if you've got any ideas, make sure you head onto social media. Make sure you post any questions in the chat or indeed via the website. And if it's something that you feel like maybe could be changed, then for sure, 100% put the idea to the organisers. We've then got Jari Luomajoski, who is racing for Finland. He will be racing in the Mercedes AMG GT4. He's the first of our Tier 2 drivers. In the Porsche Cayman for Finland as well, Jukka Oja racing in the Tier 2 as well. No information about these drivers either. They've not given us anything. Alexander Wuers, who is racing for Germany in the Aston Martin Vantage GT4. No information for him either. And then our first German in the tier number 2 is Karl Lennart Dietrich, who has been racing on iRacing, since 2020. That is the fun fact about him. Then we've got Ilmaz Zaunakix. Again, I'm very good at names, so I probably absolutely nailed that one. He's racing for Iceland, also racing for Iceland. Then we've got Yngvi Jon Gunnarsson. Neither of those have given us information, but they're in a Mercedes and Porsche, respectively. Eric Rossef for Norway in the McLaren. He is a Racing Lab esports driver, the second Norway driver in Tier 2, racing for Valkyrie Excite. That is Roger Fjellstad Christiansen. I've absolutely nailed that, I believe. And there's surely someone going to be saying, nope, not a chance. But I'm saying I've nailed that one. Adam Greverson, who is representing the United Kingdom along with Stephen Hobbs. They're both racing in the Porsche Cayman. We have Greverson, who is actually racing for Aspire Racing Team. So good to see them both representing the United Kingdom. And then we've got the final drivers. And this is the Tier 3 drivers. They're going to be a little bit slower, but big chance for them to get themselves involved in this race. Representing Germany, we have got Adrian Ranch and Jens Vack. We've got Ranch, who is 20 years old, and he lives in Austria. So representing Germany in Austria. Nice job, I guess. And then we've got for Vack, he drives for Wannenwetch and Holy Hall. He drives for two teams. Okay, fair enough. That's, your own prerogative. Then we've got some more Norwegians. Kim Andre Bjorklund. And then we've got Simen Andre Livingston, both representing Norway. One's in the Aston Martin, one's in the McLaren. For Kim Andre Bjorklund, he is driving in Sim Racing Norway, a team that started back when he was racing on F1 2020. Another team, Racing Lab esports driver, being Livingston. And then our final two drivers, we have got Peter Reed for United Kingdom. He's a founding member of SimTech Racing, 14 years on iRacing. And then we've got Matty Wild for the United Kingdom. We're both in the McLarens. And no information about Matty Wild. So there we go. Right, that was a lot of information there. We are about 5 minutes away from kicking things off, I think. So let's go back through the slides then, so you guys can get more information on this championship if you've just joined in. So this is NEEM. This is the Northern European Esports Masters. This is a GT4 championship for all. And there are 8 nations that are indeed taking part in this championship. So hopefully we get the information on the screens for you all, so you can have a proper look as to what we are talking about. There are also plenty of places you can go follow the championship in terms of social media, in terms of the website, neem.gg. That's the best place to go and get signed up. I say the best place. It is also the only place to go and get signed up. But then there's Instagram, there's Twitter, there's TikTok. There's plenty of places to go and look for some highlights of the races and all of that good stuff, because we've had some incredible racing over the course of the last 3 months. There's Ostring then, and that Porsche 718 Cayman GT4. One thing you will also notice is the car numbers. So we've just saw there, Ostring was in at 102. The first number is really important there, because that means he's in Tier 1. And right now we're on board with Adrian Ranch then in the Aston Martin, as we then head to another car. But yeah, the 3 means that they are in Tier 3 at the front of the number. And then here we've got Roger Fjellstad Christiansen, one of the hardest names to say on there, so I appreciate that there for putting me under the bus a touch. But yeah, Tier 2 is the championship here. So yeah, great stuff to indeed see all of these drivers. As you see on the left-hand side of your screen, that is all of the drivers' names and their numbers and all that good stuff. And actually, there's a different colour denoting everybody by the looks of things. It looks like we've got blue, red, and then maybe that makes actually... No, just ignore me. I think that might just be the car colour. I'm getting a little bit too technical for things there. So there we go. Right, good stuff. Practice then. Who's put the fastest lap time in? So Christiansen currently is the fastest by 0.007 of a second. Christiansen is Tier 2. So that's pretty impressive to be a Tier 2 driver at Sharpen. I'm sure that will change over the course of the next few moments. But ultimately, right now, if you just took a picture of that, you can send it to your family and say, look, I'm the fastest in the NEEM Championship this week. Don't worry about what happened after that. Or maybe he goes out there and actually just destroys everybody. Anders Meyer in at the number 109, currently second fastest. Race winner from last time out as well. And running for the team that are leading the championship. Norway have been absolutely exceptional so far this season and continue to do so. And what's most important for them is they've just got 2 drivers in every single tier racing today. United Kingdom have also got 2 drivers in every single tier, and Germany have got 2 drivers in every single tier. So right now, Netherlands, who are currently in 3rd in the championship, they're in trouble. So the Netherlands have only got 1 driver in tier 1, and that is it. They've only got 1 driver in the entirety. So it looks like Netherlands are probably going to drop out of the top 3 in this championship. But Norway, Germany, they are looking very, very strong to keep hold of the top spots. And that's where, indeed, they're going to be fighting for the money. So a couple of minutes left before we head into our qualifying. They've got 10 minutes. They can put as many lap times in as they want in their 10-minute qualifying session. And that will indeed denote who starts where. On board then with Loic Neno in the Porsche 718 Cayman, representing Luxembourg. You can tell by the light blue, and they've got the Luxembourg flag on the top of the car. Again, I love that. I love if you're representing your country, it should be obnoxiously showing which country you're representing, and that is exactly what we're seeing here. Some lovely information telling us exactly how fast we're going as we head then in towards Copse Corner. Then we're going to head down towards Maggots and Beckett's. Nice little in-car look here. One of the fastest complex of corners in the world of motorsport. Maybe some of the most enjoyable as well. If you get it right, it's not enjoyable if you get it wrong. I can assure you that. I've done that plenty of times. Maybe more times than I've actually got this set of corners right. Now it's all about making sure you carry as much speed as you possibly can, using all the curb on the exit now, because you've got the hanger straight down towards Stowe. Look at those clouds in the sky. So track temperature is going to be relatively low here, so it should be good in terms of tyre wear. Should be good in terms of grip. We should see some very fast lap times throughout today. Here we go then, qualifying time. Oh, lovely old job. They're all going to go into the pits, and then qualifying will begin. There we go. So we've got 10 minutes of qualification. I reckon we should probably go on board with Anders Meyer. Anders Meyer might be the one. He won the race last time out, and we can have a little look here at a lap on board. So there he is, Anders Meyer. So he is coming towards Village. There is Village. And then we will head into the loop, which is a left-hander that goes back on itself. A very tough corner indeed. And then we're heading down towards Aintree. Got to set yourself up nicely down the Wellington Straight. It's the longest part of the circuit going flat out. Apart from the hanger straight. It's very close between the 2 of them. So we're heading down in towards Brooklands. And this is a very tough complex of corners here. You've got to get as far left as you possibly can on the exit. And, well, this is just warming up the tyres, so don't worry about any apexes here. They apparently are made of lava. As we head then through the right-hander, which is Luffield. Then you've got a little kink of a right-hander, which is Woodcut. And then we head all the way down towards Copse Corner for the first time. Again, first couple of laps is going to be all about warming those tyres up. There we go. Temperature into the tyres, sweeping left and right. Through Copse Corner, we will go. Grabbing a little bit of curb on entry. Don't want to run too far wide on the exit. Again, on the warm-up lap, that's not going to be too much of an issue. But if you run out wide there, you'll get a 1x, and that is your lap over. So any track limits, you will get your lap completely invalidated. Through Maggots, now into Beckett's. As we come around here, here is Beckett's. And then we head into Chapel, which is this little kink here. And then onto the hanger straight up towards Stowe. Stowe, one of the better places to make an overtake, but it is very defendable as well. It's such an open corner. So if you leave the inside open, ultimately you will have the inside for the next corner. So yeah, it's not a case if you completely lost a position. If you do have someone send you up the inside, they'll also be very slow through there if they do take the inside line. So expect to see cars sort of defend the outside line as we head them down in towards or through Vale. And now we're heading towards Club. So Club is this next right-hander heading onto the Hamilton Straight. Renamed a couple of years ago. And now we start a fast lap. So there we go. That is the lap here at Silverstone. So plenty of places to make an overtaking opportunity. I think this is probably the best opportunity here, up in towards Village. So you've got a very technical part, which means you can set a car up to be offline, and then you can send one up the inside, down and towards the loop. So Anders Meyer, probably the favourite to go out there and win, considering the form that he is in from the last race out there. Managed to pick up a race victory. Norway have been strong throughout this championship so far. They lead the championship currently by 29 points to Germany. Then you've got the Netherlands, who are on 950, so they are a fair chunk of change back. They are exactly 259 points back. And then you've got the United Kingdom on 885. They're really the only four nations, I would say, that have a genuine chance of winning it. Finland would need to pretty much win every race. Luxembourg, the same. Sweden, the same. Iceland don't really have much of a chance, to be honest. They're P8 with 176 points. So the top four all within a big shout. The Netherlands, I think, naturally are going to drop out of that top three just because they only have one driver out of all of the top three tiers here, unfortunately for them. A team that started so strongly with Sam Kiter earlier on this year. But yeah, with the participation numbers this time round, it's not looking overly too strong for them. And as I mentioned, you know, they're all going to score points for their nation. Whether you're in tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, you're going to be scoring points for your nation. So if you're in tier 2, you don't have to worry about tier 1. If you're the first car that finishes behind all of them, you win tier 2. It really is as simple as that. So yeah, you're basically in your own race within a race of 3 other tiers. So it should be fun, should be interesting. Last time out was absolutely bonkers at Hockenheim. And here at Silverstone, I imagine it, because they're very similar circuits, Hockenheim and Silverstone, in my opinion. So I'm imagining it to be pretty much the same. Plenty of room to overtake around here as well. The track is so wide. So expect to see some very good racing here. Then across the line, it will be one of our first times posted, I believe. Anders Meyer does cross the line. No time popped up on the left-hand side. It will take a bit of time. And there we go. Fastest lap. Anders Meyer. 209.994. So Anders Meyer is provisionally on pole position. Again, no idea why there's no timing tower yet, ladies and gentlemen. But it should pop up sooner rather than later. But the best thing is we'll know. Well, there's actually a new fastest lap there. So Timo Hayden has just done a 209.934. Not a lot to choose between them. But yeah, Timo Hayden, the 103 from Germany. And again, Germany need a big result today. They need to really go out there and win this race to maybe take it to Norway with 2 races to go in this championship. And while Timo Hayden is doing that job, and to back him up, Hofrichter, who is currently in 3rd spot as well. So both German drivers into the top 3, which is very important indeed. Christiansen from tier 2 is currently P4. So very interesting indeed. Then we've got Kirkipa, who managed to finish out P3 for Finland last time out, is in 5th position as it stands. I'm trying to find out where the next Norwegian driver is. So where's Jarl Tayen? Jarl Tayen is yet to put a lap time in, but you're expecting him to be at the sharp end, or he hasn't made it to the session. So has Jarl Tayen made it? Let's wonder if we can get him on screen. There's Timo Hayden. So Jarl Tayen is not in the session, ladies and gentlemen. So that puts Norway at a big disadvantage, with Germany having 2 cars into tier number 1. In tier number 2, we've got Rosseth, who is from Norway as well, I believe. Rosseth is representing Norway. Christiansen, of course, is miles up the leaderboard. So they've got P1 and P2 in tier 2 as well. And what about tier 3? Well, Livingston is the driver at the sharp end, who is also Norwegian. So Hayden and Germany may have P1 in tier 1, but Norway have got P1 in tier 2 and tier 3 as it stands. So the championship leaders are just turning the screw a touch here and ultimately putting Germany under a lot of pressure. Timo Hayden, still the fastest driver out there, as Anders Meyer has just gone and made it 3 pole positions out of 3 then. So Christiansen, Meyer, and indeed Bjorklund. Hold on, Bjorklund is representing Norway as well, of course. So yeah, right now it is just an absolute lockout for Norway in all 3 tiers. Kirkeper moves up to P6. Timo Hayden did not improve. He's now 0.06 of a second behind Meyer. And oh boy, Norway have come here so strong. There's Daniel Thomas then in the AMG with the United Kingdom, the Union Jack flag on top of the car, heading down the Wellington Straight, down towards Brooklands. Currently in P8 as it stands. Who's the fastest in terms of tier 3? Bjorklund then. P11 overall is Bjorklund. and again is in that number 303. But yeah, it is bang on. Norway are dominating right now. Christiansen, Rossef, they're P1, P2 in terms of tier 2. Maya, there's only one car in tier 1. So, you know, they're under a little bit of pressure. But if Maya can go out there and win it, there's no real worries for him. Bjorklund is in P10 now. So again, very impressive here from Norway. There's just not much else I can say about it other than incredible stuff. We've got Lou Majowski here in the number 201, currently P20 overall. But the big story here is, ladies and gentlemen, Norway lead by 29 points coming into this. And right now they've got pole position in tier 1. They've got pole position in tier 2 and second in tier 2. And they've also got pole position in tier 3 with Bjorklund. And where is the next driver? So Livingston, of course, is also from Norway. So they have got all 5 drivers in the top positions of their respective grids. They have performed the best they possibly can in terms of qualifying as it stands. Absolutely ridiculous from that nation. So just to clarify, they can score as equally amount of points during this race in their respective tiers. So this is a massive opportunity here. Massive opportunity. So they're all about finishing as high as you possibly can within this race. Nice stuff. We're on board then with Daniel Thomas, currently 8th position. So he's 300ths of a second behind Neno. And then we've got Christiansen, who is in P4. So might be an idea. Hopefully we can get the relative change so we can see the gaps between like P1 down to how far P10 is behind P1. But right now, the 600 separating the front 2, but I think they're done. Hofrichter is a 10th of a second back. And there we go. That's absolutely perfect there. So now we can see the difference right now. So the top 9 separated by 7/10 of a second. Then we get to the 10th position is about 1 second. Then we head down to sort of 16th, it's 1.7 seconds. Down to sort of P20 is 2.5 seconds. So there's a bit of a difference when you head a bit further down the grid, but the sharp end is so close. And that is it. That's qualifying done, ladies and gentlemen. So now they are all about to grid up. They've got 40 minutes of racing. And they have to pit once. So everybody has to pit. There's a mandatory pit stop. They've got to change all 4 tires. That is the only stipulation for them. So in terms of fuel, they can start with half fuel. They can, you know, put more fuel in to last the whole race. They can do whatever they like in terms of the strategy in that regard. But yeah, it's all about getting to the finish line first. For your nation, Norway look good. So Norway currently have got pole position in tier 1. They've got second P1 and P2 in tier 2. And they've got P1 and P2 in tier 3 as well. They've only got 5 drivers and they've performed the best they possibly can. You get a lovely look here at Silverstone. So here is the official grid then. Anders Meyer and Timo Hayden will be on your front row. Lucas Hofrichter, and then we've got Roger Fjellstad. Christiansen are your 3rd and 4th. We've then got Eric Rossef in 5th. Our second tier 2 driver. Christiansen is our first one. You see the difference between the numbers. If you've got 1 at the start, it's tier 1. If you've got 2 at the start of their number, it's tier 2. And if it's 3, it's tier 3. Rupa or Kusti Kirkipa is your driver in 6th position. We've then got Loic Neno and Daniel Thomas on your 4th row. Alexander Wuers and Kim Andre Bjorklund are your top 10. Jeremy Ostring and Adam Grevison are your top 12. We've then got Stephen Hobbs, Carl Lennart Dittrich in 13th and 14th position. Simen Andre Livingston and Adrian Ranch are your 15th and 16th drivers. Matty Wild in 17th. Peter Reed in 18th position. Yuka Oja and Yari Luma Joki are your 19th and 20th position. Jens van Eyck and Ilmars Zaunachik are in 21st and 22nd. Then we've got Ingvi Gunnarsson and Jens Vack as your 23rd and 24th. And your final driver then, we've got Stefan Freya Margretsen. Here we go then. We've got a short formation lap then as they head then through the final few corners of the lap. Oh, they are all very much ready to rock and roll. You can tell the difference in terms of the color of the cars. The pace car's about to take us off here. 40 minutes of racing action. They have to indeed serve 1 pit stop where they all have to change 4 tyres. Oh, make sure you've got yourself your drinks ready. Make sure you got your snacks ready because it's about to be race time. Let's get it on here for round 4 of the NEEM Championship. It is pole position then for Norway. And then you've got 2 German cars in behind. And now it is all up to our pole sitter as to when he decides to go. So Anders Meyer, it is all up to him. He can go at any point now, and I would imagine he goes now. I think he's already gone here. As we head then up towards the final corner. He has gone then, so the 2 Germans in behind. And no, he hasn't. So he is still going slow. Very surprising here that he's not just gone. Maybe they're told to wait to the green, actually. Now we're going. So there we go. We are green light racing here. 40 minutes of racing action here at Silverstone. And Anders Meyer will open up then turn number 1 beautifully well. The 2 German cars side by side don't really want to mix it up and get involved with each other. That would not be ideal in the slightest. And actually, we've got the Tier 2 driver, lead driver in P4 overall in this race. As we see some absolute sends then into the first complex of corners. And everybody gets through nicely indeed. It's actually, oh, I say that, there's a bit of action in the background. Looks like the German car nearly taking out the Brit car. And looks like they're all good as it stands then. The Finnish car on the outside, well, a long way outside now, just about getting back on circuit here, but everybody still facing in the right direction. That is, well, as I say that, there's a car facing in the wrong way. Unbelievable. You just can't write this script, can you? You cannot write a script there. As soon as I mention it, a car is facing the wrong direction. Again, we'll find out exactly who that was once they've crossed the line. So we head them here battling for P19, Jens van Eyck. Peter Reed is in the background. He's going to take advantage. He's got the orange rims then of that McLaren. Sends one up the inside down towards the Hamilton straight. And it's going to be a beautiful move, well executed, as we're now heading down towards Kopp's corner. And I tell you what, that Dutch car might just be giving up on this. You don't want to be on the outside there, that's for certain. As we head then through Maggots and Beckett's, Timo Hayden still keeping Anders Meyer very, very honest indeed. Anders Meyer there, just sliding the rear of the car out. Don't want to be doing that too early, that's for sure. You want to keep your tyres in a decent range for the whole entire race here. So the first couple of laps, you really do need to take it a little bit easy. Slipstream is a massive factor in these GT4 cars. They are effectively boxes on wheels. Not a lot of aero on them as well. So as we head then down in towards Stowe corner for the very first time, it is Norway leading the way with Anders Meyer. 2 German cars then in 2nd and 3rd position. You've got a 4th car there is a Norwegian car backing up his fellow compatriot in P1. As we see Daniel Thomas getting very friendly with a Porsche Cayman. And well, the Porsche is just about going to hang on. I think that's Loic Neno representing the Luxembourg, becoming very, very friendly with the British car in behind. So yeah, that was very interesting indeed. Thomas almost sending the Porsche off the track. So race control, we've got decision instant car 18, stop and go penalty. That is indeed for having the wrong number. So that's having the wrong number. So that is the decision for that one there. 10-second hold. So Daniel Thomas in behind. So the timing tower on the left-hand side will appear very, very shortly. You can get a proper look at what's going on. Yeah, Daniel Thomas holding on to that P7. Neno ultimately holding on. There's a bit of contact between the 2 drivers, but it seems like all is good. So Meyer still leads 0.6 of a second. We've got Hayden, Hofrichter, Christiansen as your top 4. But let's have a look at some replays then of some action on the first lap. So it looks like we did have some issues. So Zanachicks, oh, just drops it all on their own. Oh no, the Porsche could not avoid. You see they're holding their brakes. And there's no cars behind, so that's not good there. So Zanachicks just completely lost it on their own, and it was an instant retirement. And I think the damage from that may have cost. Well, no, it's almost exactly the same, but different corner. So the Iceland driver is not having a good time here. So Margretarsson just drops it by being on a power a little bit too early there, a bit too eager, cold tyres and all of that stuff. So not ideal in the slightest. So this is the battle. A bit further back, this is Livingston. Battling with Bjorklund. Bjorklund just in behind in the AMG. There's a warning for the car number 113. That's Thomas. I think that was the contact with Neno as well. But yeah, the 2 Norwegian cars here, they need to kind of play this a little bit safely. Try and maximise the points as best you possibly can. As we see a bit of a send in the background then. Looks like we've seen Hobbs trying to get involved. Hobbs also with another British car in the background. And We've got the McLaren letting the Aston Martin go through. So there we go. I think that is a very good decision there. I think Bjorklund has just let Greverson through. Yeah, he has. So the Greverson's gone through. Bjorklund's then going to be into P12. So that was just a nice bit of race management, in all fairness. We've got Hobbs then just in behind. Hobbs will be not happy. It's actually Livingston. So Livingston's let Bjorklund go through. And yeah, I just think that's clever management of this race. Although I tell you what, this might be a potential move here. Hobbs, with the move up the inside, he had to go for it in the end. And he just didn't have the traction to make it stick earlier in the lap. But this time round, he absolutely nails it then. So as we come then onto the the Wellington straight, it's a very well executed move, and now needs his teammate to really come through. So Wilder trying to come through as well. Livingston losing positions, got that bright yellow rims on that McLaren. Is there the potential for one more move down towards Brooklands? No, the McLaren will not be able to take on the Norwegian McLaren, but this will now give an opportunity for Hobbs to just drive away a little bit here and try and make some distance between him and the Norwegian cars. Of course, United Kingdom needing as big a points haul as they possibly can, very similarly to Germany, so that Norway do not run away with things. But Norway are currently leading 0.2 of a second, actually, is a lead between the top two cars. It's not actually that big of a gap as we head a little bit further back. Then Matty Wild currently ahead of Dietrich. So again, United Kingdom versus Germany. You've got the Porsche from Germany battling the McLaren. As we come through Maggots and Beckett's, there's no real room to maneuver. Heading back up to the leader. So look how close this is. So we've got Meyer leading the way, 0.2 of a second. You've got the Aston Martin and Hayden, and then you've got Hofrichter. And you feel like Hayden has probably got a bit of freedom here to take it on the lead. If he wants to go and take on the lead here, he's got every opportunity to do so, because I don't believe Hofrichter will put too much pressure on. He won't try and take full advantage or anything like that. No need to. It's all about the team, ultimately. So, yeah, I would imagine here that Hayden, if he does get an opportunity, he'll be backed up by his teammate, which is exactly what we want to see. Heading down then, across the start-finish line. And we've got a new fastest lap then. So Team of Hayden with the fastest lap at 2:09.627. And yeah, so Hayden will be looking to try and get himself involved in this lead battle as soon as he possibly can. Hofrichter just kind of waiting to pick up any pieces. Right now, Meyer needs Christiansen. Christiansen just to back him up, maybe put some pressure on Hofrichter and try and get himself up into third position. As we see a potential move in the background here then. So this is Dietrich and Wild. Can Dietrich get ahead of Wild? Wild under so much pressure here that actually let Livingston go. So Livingston is off into the distance a little bit. Up into P14. You've got Hobbs a bit further up the road as well. Bjorklund into P12. But it's still side by side then, as we've now got an extra car coming involved here. Lewin Majoki, the Finnish driver, has the inside line here. Dietrich, though, should be able to defend this. We'll track the car out wide, though, because of the nature of this corner. And does just about hold on to that position. So Wilder has a little bit of breathing room. I say a little bit. It's not a lot. That is for certain as we go through Maggots and Beckett's. Can Hayden potentially make a move for the lead of this race? As we head again down towards Beckett's. Get yourself a nice exit here. You've got the long run up towards Stowe Corner. And it's a very, very good opportunity to send one up the inside. Again, it's quite defendable, as I said in the pre-race laps. But Hayden has to make something happen here if he wants Norway to be taken off the lead of this championship. So heading up towards Stowe Corner. Grabbing all of the curb on the inside line there. Still holding on firm, though, is Meyer. Meyer, of course, won the last race, so is absolutely accustomed to the pressure of leading races and going out there and winning it. I wouldn't be surprised if he goes out there and just takes the checkered flag from this position and just manages the situation. Hayden, though, has got everything to play for. You can see exactly what he needs to do. The carrot is right in front of him. Just go out there, pick this driver off, take P1. Job is a good one. So around the first corner we go in towards turn number 2, and now we're coming in towards turn number 3, which is Village, then into the loop. The loop may be the toughest corner on the circuit, as I think there might be an opportunity here. Hayden, is he going to try and send it? He decides not to. Bit of a mistake there from Meyer. I think Meyer expected a send and then tried to hold a nice tight line as we come then down through Aintree along the Wellington straight. And in all fairness, I think Hayden did have a little look there, and ultimately has lost himself maybe half a tenth of a second. So the pressure well and truly on to Meyer. 10 minutes already gone in this race, so we've only got 30 minutes left. And of course, they could pit at any time. I'm wondering if they might make a decision to come in and to get that done early. As we see a big mistake there. That's a big slide. And that is going to be brilliant for Meyer. He's going to be looking in this rear view mirror and thinking, this is great news. This is exactly what I needed to see. And now the pressure really is on Hayden to hold on. And Hayden will be in trouble with his tyres now as well. They're going to be hot for the next half a lap. It's going to take some effort to get them back into a decent temperature range. So this might be a bit of a freebie for Hofrichter. And if you're Hofrichter and you're maybe in the same chat here as your fellow German, you might be saying, just let me go here. I've maybe got the pace to go and catch up to Meyer. But we need to work together here, as Meyer now has an 0.8 of a second lead, and he's pretty much out of the tow now. They'll be getting a faint slipstream, but nothing too crazy, nothing too crazy at all. So right now, yeah, the race may be just slightly slipping away from the Germans, and Christensen has a really important role to play here. The P4, that red McLaren, if he can just get involved with these Germans now and just slow them down, just race side by side, get involved here. And ultimately slow them down, make the gap up to P1 a little bit bigger, then that can really give Meyer the chance to run away, though, as Hayden has actually gained a couple of tenths in that final sector. But that is the concertina effect. I think it will go back up to about 0.8 of a second. But yeah, can Christensen become a bit of a nuisance to the rest of this field? After 11 minutes in this race, then we've got Meyer, Hayden, Hofrichter as your top three. Christensen is in fourth position. We've got Kirkepa. We've then got Neno as your top six. Thomas, Rosseth, we've then got Wooers, Ostring as your top 10, Greverson, Bjorklund, Hobbs, Dietrich and Wild, who they're swapping positions. Actually, hold on, Dietrich is falling down the order. So I'm not exactly what's happened here. Well, he actually decided to pit. So he's decided to go for the undercut here. And I'm just not sure. I'm not sure you would have used enough tyres really to do this, but maybe Dietrich does gain a load of position. Remember, he was battling with Wilder and Livingston. So those were the drivers he was battling with. So we need to keep an eye out on Wilder, as Livingston and Lua Majoki are battling for position as well. Looks like they were just swapping paint a little bit. So Dietrich is going to come back out here. Should be about 28 seconds, I think, something like that. Oh, it's a little bit longer. I guess he might be adding wow, no, it's just a really long stop, but that's how long it takes to do the tyres. And there we go. Back out the pits we will come. 37.1. So was that a good idea for Dietrich? And does that now sort of make Wilder decide he has to come into the pits? I guess we'll find out here. Christensen, I did say he needs to get involved with the Germans here to make Meyer's job a little bit easier. He's doing exactly that. Down towards Maggots and Beckett's. And yeah, a braver driver would not be backing out. He is the bravest as they come. Round the outside they go. Bit of contact between the two of them. And I tell you what, that has sent Christensen offline, but it's sent Hofrichter offline even more. And I think Kirkepa has a big opportunity here to go up into P4. This has now let the front two go. Hayden, by the way, has recovered nicely. He's now 0.5 of a second back from the race leader. You can see here that Christensen's playing a very, very good role in terms of sharing the slipstream between the two cars behind him, thus not one of them not getting the full benefit of that slipstream and keeping hold of that P3. It was Mixie, it was Maggots and Beckett's, but ultimately Christensen now, for Norway, is up to P3. Of course, he's qualified as a Tier 2 driver, and he's repping them beautifully well in that top three. So great drive then from Christensen. So Meyer and Hayden are at the front two. 0.6 of a second between them. And yeah, after making that mistake earlier on, is Hayden. It's not looking as bad as it was. So he's caught up a couple. We've got a warning then for car number 202. It's incident number 4, if that's any help for anybody. Not sure exactly what that was for. Has anybody decided to pit then? So Wilder, no, he stayed out. Livingston has stayed out as well. So we'll keep an eye on that as it develops, and to see whether we might have a jump in terms of positions. Dietrich, the German, came in a little bit earlier. We're battling now for P6. We've got Neno and Thomas. They've been battling for the whole entire race so far. 15 minutes of action. It's been really nice from both of them. Luxembourg versus the United Kingdom. And it just looks like the AMG is so much more hooked up through the corners. Maybe the Porsche's got a little bit more acceleration on the exits, and maybe a little bit more straight line speed, which is pretty normal for the Porsche. But yeah, the AMG just looks really nice dialed in through the technical section. Yeah, it looks like there may have been a bit of some love taps there. Yeah, definitely. It looks like he's been kicked in the front teeth there. That AMG is a massive dent in it. So yeah, there's been some fun had for sure. I'm not sure Neno would be telling you it's fun, but ultimately they're all still facing the right way. And you've got Rosseth, another Norwegian car, by the way, also looking to try and take advantage of any misdemeanors between these two. Bit of a mistake then, heading into Maggots for the Porsche for Luxembourg. And are we about to see Thomas try and make a move once again? The long run down towards Stowe Corner has got the slipstream. The Porsche, again, seemingly a bit faster in a straight line, but under braking, I think the AMG might have a shot here. Did they decide to go for it? No. Thomas probably going to wait for the next corner. Neno, though, hooks up the apex nicely. He's going to run ever so slightly wide, but ultimately, it's tidy. It's really tidy in. Well, Thomas has gone for the undercut here. So an early pit stop then for Thomas on the brakes. Ooh, just about nailed it there. Perfectly done. And pit limiter on. You completely take out the final couple of corners. And we get the pit stop done here. Anyone else decided to come into the pits, though? That is the big question. Again, Wilder, Hobbs, they're the two we need to be looking at in terms of pit stop. And it looks like they've stayed out. So they have stayed out. So Richrick, later on, we will see as to whether the decision to come in, or Dittrich, should I say, whether to come in was a good decision or a bad decision. So here is Timo Hayden battling at the front then with Meyer. Meyer still leading, but it's 0.4 of a second. And now, with what, 24 minutes to go in this race, I'll be very surprised if we don't see one of these cars come into the pits. So I think one of these cars will make a decision to come in. And it might be a case of, for Hayden, if Meyer doesn't come in, I'm coming in. Do exactly the opposite to what the driver in front of you is doing. But Hayden has just found some mid-race pace here that is just not being matched by Meyer. So Meyer, under some severe pressure, the pressure of his nation on his back, half a lap to go until he has an opportunity to bring that car into the pits. And, you know, will an undercut be the ideal situation here? I think if you've got to be brave if you're the lead car to do something different or to make the decision. I think you've kind of got to react to someone who's behind you. But as we come up towards Maggots and Beckett's here, this is brilliant for P3 if they went side by side, which is actually now Christiansen. So Christiansen and Kirkepa are third and fourth. They want these two to battle. And Hayden playing the very, very mature game, I would say, of not trying too much through Maggots and Beckett's, not losing too much time. He's got the slipstream here. You can see that Hayden is trying to stay in Meyer's toe. Meyer moving left once, or right once, and then back left once. And ultimately not going to give up any joy. As we head then towards the pit entry, are we going to see one of these cars decide to come in? No, we do not want to see one of these cars come in, which I think is a very strange decision. I think it might be an idea for someone out of the top four to bring it in and just try something new to go out there and win this race. We've seen it happen before. We saw it at Rutskogen, but none of the top five have decided to come in. And actually, no one really from the sharp end has decided to do anything different other than stay out there and just try and race for the position. So P2 then for Hayden, another lap at least before they decide to bring that car into the pits. Christiansen is 1.6 seconds now behind this battle, so it's closing up ever so slightly, but under some severe pressure. Look at this group of three. We've got Kirkepa, we've got Hofrichter as your top five. Then we've got Neno. So Neno is in P6. Thomas came into the pits, remember. So it looks like we've got into the pits. Wilder, oh, okay, so Wilder's into the pits. That's going to be interesting then. So where does Wilder come out in terms of Dittrich? That's who he was fighting. So pit stop here. It's not saying exactly what his pit stop timing is. It was a 37.1. So Wilder's going to be in there. Where is Dittrich out on circuit, though? That's the big question. Dittrich's currently in P20. Is he coming up towards the final couple of corners, though? That is the question here. So we're about to see Wilder. He's got about 10 more seconds in the pits. There we go. There is Dittrich as he comes in around the final corner. Matt Wilder is yet to get going. Here we go. So he is going now. And where is Dittrich? We're about to see Dittrich, I think, on the close side of our screens. There he is. As we come then around turn number one. And what about the merge here? Yeah, Dittrich's got him. So Dittrich was battling Wilder when they decided to pit. And it looks like the undercut is very favorable indeed. Whether that's because of the tires or it might even just be because, it's the battling that Wilder was involved in. He's in a big cluster of cars, so that might also be the case. So let's head back up to the leaders then. They're coming up towards the pit lane. So we're heading up towards Stowe here. I think Hayden is going to go for this. So if Hayden's going for this, he is definitely not going to be coming into the pits. And actually, he might be blocking Meyer from making that decision. So as you can see there, the pit lane is to the right-hand side, and that means Meyer can't do it, and Hayden then decides to come in. So I think that's clever from Hayden. He basically made sure Meyer couldn't go in, could not go into the pits because he was blocking it, and then he almost faked to not going to the pits, and then went in really, really late here. So a big lap then, a big lap needed from Meyer. Currently leads this race, needs to make sure that this in lap is quick. I'll be very surprised if Meyer stays out any longer. Christiansen, Kirkepa, Hofrichter, that is your top four. Rosseth, Wooers, then we've got Hayden again, who is in the pits. Neno is into the pits as well. So remember, Thomas came into the pits earlier on. He was battling with Neno. Neno was ahead. So it'd be nice to look at the merge actually between Neno and Thomas to see whether Neno does indeed hold on. Neno's still got a good 25 seconds before the pit stop over for them. You see Neno just dropping down the order here. So many cars into or yet to pit with just over the halfway point of this race. So there is Neno. Neno is about to start getting going. Where is Thomas though? That is the big question. Where is Thomas on the racetrack? There is Thomas. I think Thomas has got this comfortably. So Thomas was a fair chunk of change behind Neno. Oh, here we go. Here is the merge. And actually, no. I think Neno's just about got this. He has. So Neno, by staying out, has actually gained time. So we've seen the two opposites now. We have seen the two opposites. It worked out for Dietrich and has not worked out for Thomas. So there's Hayden. Hayden, who is now battling for position. But yeah, they've got back markers there just getting out of the way going, this is not my race. I am not getting involved in this. You know, I am just going to chill out. I'm just going to get out of the way. I'll let you crack on. So it looks like we're going to have, we've also had a bit of an incident here, guys. So there might have been a crash. Let's check out the replay. So Ostring then in the finish, Cayman, and from the end, oh, wow. Yeah, just ran out of talent to touch there, I think might be the answer to that one. I'm not sure there's anything more than got squeezed onto the apex. I'm not sure if there was actually any contact. Oh, no, got squeezed a little bit. But yeah, I think that's more of a racing incident there, to be honest, more than anything. I'm not sure there'll be anything done about that. Yeah, as Meyer is in the pits. Okay, this is the interesting one. So is Hofrichter. Christiansen has stayed out. So Anders Meyer is in. Anders Meyer is into the pits. And actually was behind a back marker as well. So that might have cost him some time. What about Meyer? So does Meyer now gain a position? He's going to be in the pits. Meyer, it's going to feel like forever. It's going to feel like absolutely forever now for Meyer to stay in this pit. 17 minutes, 50 seconds left on the clock with Timo Hayden coming up towards the final few corners. So through Stowe they come, down in towards Vale, and then they've got Club to do, and then it's the Hamilton Straight. They will merge then in towards Abbey and Farm. And will Timo Hayden be able to take the lead of this race? Has the undercut been strong? We just saw from two of our faster drivers that actually going a lap later may have gained some time. Here we go then. Here comes the merge. It's going to be a lot closer, that is for certain. There's the Norwegian car of Meyer. And where is Hayden? They're going to come out side by side. I'll tell you what though, Hayden's just about got it. Very, very exciting stuff here. And it was a good job coming into the pits early. But I don't think it was anything to do with the tyres. I actually think that Meyer was held up coming into the pits by the back marker. The Icelandic car looked a little bit slow coming into the pits there. So Meyer has lost out by being in traffic. A great decision then from Hayden to indeed come into the pits early, and now has taken the lead for Germany. Germany right now are P1 and indeed P3. We have got, well actually it's a different German car, isn't it? It's Wooers who's a bit further back in P3, but the timing will sort itself out momentarily. They've actually got a Dutch car to sort out, so there is Wooers. Wooers running up towards Stowe corner. So yeah, this I believe Wooers effectively is in the lead of this race actually, to be honest. As we head then through the final few corners, Christiansen and Kirkepa have decided not to come into the pits either. So these are effectively leading the race. So they are leading, but they still have yet to come into the pits to serve their mandatory stop. Remember, they have to change all 4 tyres in this mandatory stop. Otherwise, you will be disqualified from the race. You just won't finish. It is as simple as that. as we see some action in the background then. So there is Thomas. Thomas in P14 right now, in behind Rossef. Thomas has dropped massively down the order. Again, there's a few people yet to pit. He was battling with Neno. Neno is the Porsche just up ahead. So he's dropped back about a second and a bit, although he was behind Neno in terms of the pit stop. Heading up then towards Stowe corner. And Thomas not able to make the move then. So Rossef holding strong, yet to do their pit stop as well. So this is just going to be hemorrhaging time for Thomas. Does Rossef decide to come into the pits? Nope. And Rossef, again, this is 4th position. They're in different races effectively because Rossef hasn't pit yet. But ultimately, they are racing 4th position. So you can't blame him for just, trying to hold on and even slowing down the Brit car. So there is Hofrichter, currently in P7 behind Meyer. So I guess effectively P3 once everybody's decided to pit. 2.6 seconds behind Meyer and Hayden. Hayden has made the gap out to 0.7 of a second. It was like 0.3 of a second a minute ago. So these two are very much closing in. But if we have a look at the full grid then, so Christensen, Kirkepa, Greverson, top 3. Bjorklund, P4. None of those drivers have pit yet. So all 4 of those drivers are yet to indeed pit, as we see Greverson. Oh, look at this. This is some driving here. Oh, trying to go around the outside. Bjorklund in the Norwegian car. Greverson is in the Brit car. Down towards Maggots and Beckett's here. The British Porsche not backing out. Still keeping that overlap then. Through Maggots. Now down towards Beckett's. Has to leave that door open. Does Greverson. Now he can close it. Brilliant stuff from both of them. Very committed by both of them. Lost a lot of time. But ultimately, it was a lovely bit of driving from them both. Neither of them facing the wrong way, which is always a bonus. So Greverson and Bjorklund, who, again, have yet to pit, so they've got to come in now. Here is Christensen, who's, again, decided not to come in. Kirkepa just in behind, 14 minutes then left on the clock. Their lap times, are they quick enough now to be closing that gap to the group behind in Hayden and Meyer? Have they managed to close that gap enough, do you think? Is the overcut bad? Is it good to do the undercut? Is it good to do the overcut? We're about to find out with these two. They were a fair chunk of change, about 2 seconds behind the leaders. So not expecting them to be right up battling, but they could definitely have closed down that order. So it looks like we've got some replays of some more incidents. We love a bit of an incident. So here we go. So there's Ostring. Ostring, one of the Finnish cars. Oh, ooh. Hello, what happened there? We just stopped. So Ostring, I think something happened before that. I think there might have been an incident before that, and there might be some damage here as we see it merge. Oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. I'm not sure what we can do there. 301, drive-through penalty, and 2 penalty points. So the car of 301 was the car that got shot off, but ultimately they just rejoined poorly from the pit. So as much as they're the ones who were it's not about what happens, it's about the cause, right? And yeah, the rejoin was very, very dangerous there indeed. As Lua Majoki ended up the wrong way. Let's check out the rejoin here. So you've got your rear view mirror. You're seeing that car. Yeah. Yeah, I think you need to. Be a bit more careful. It looks like we're going to see this again. Here we go. So we're going to see this exactly again. Oh, actually, do you know what? I'm not sure. I'm not sure the 301's done a lot wrong there. I guess the Porsche is flat out, but there was definitely enough room left there. I don't think there should be a penalty. I'm going to be honest there. I don't think Ranch deserves a penalty for that. But they did. There we go. We're going to see it again. So joining on the right-hand side of the track. I guess they do cut across. No, I don't think they've done anything wrong. I think they've been dealt a rough hand there with that one. Not sure. They should be penalised there. But, it is what it is. That's why I'm not a race steward. That's why I'm here talking about it. So I can't get myself in trouble. I'm not going to get myself in trouble. It's, yeah, that's someone else's job to get themselves in trouble. Mainly the drivers, which is all good. So here we go. Anders Meyer is into the lead by the looks of things. So we missed that then. Yeah, so Meyer has managed to get into the lead here. So we missed that overtake, unfortunately. Maybe we'll see the replay of it. I'm not sure. But yeah, that is the virtual lead, if you like. They're obviously P4 and P5, but Bjorklund, Kirkepa, Christensen, it's about 50 seconds lost in the pit. So, they're going to lose that time eventually when they come in. So they will indeed inherit the lead of this race. But Meyer, who led the whole first stint, Lost out because of the pit stop phase to Hayden, and now is taking the lead of this race. So 10 minutes, 50-odd seconds to go for Hayden to get this done on track. He can't now rely on a pit stop. It has to be done via an overtake on track. Does he have that in him, though? That is the big question. So I would say they've got maybe 5 laps remaining of this race, something like that, about 5 laps remaining of this race to get the job done. And will it be Anders Meyer picking up a second race victory in a row? That is the big question here. Anders Meyer, who was so good last time out, looking likely he's going to be so good once again. And with the championship lead being Norway's, you know, this is some great points for Norway right now. You know, they've also got in this race Bjorklund, Christiansen running up there at the sharp end of this race as well. So it's been a good day for Norway, but the Germans, I think, effectively need to go out and win this one just to sort of let Norway know that it's not going to be done easily. So as we head down the back straight, we head then through Kopp's Corner down towards Maggots and Beckett's. Just keep yourself into the slipstream. Don't do anything too crazy. Set yourself up for a potential move into Stowe Corner. It's very close between the two of them. And I tell you, we've got a battle happening once again between the two of them. This is actually a replay of the overtake. So there is Hayden on the outside. And, well, there was a little bit of contact between the two of them. But Meyer just took advantage of the Aston Martin just running ever so slightly wide. So this is they were on exactly the same part of the track, actually, before we headed to the replay. Through Kopp's Corner we will go. You've got the inside line through there. You're pretty much golden. And as you head down towards Maggots and Beckett's, that is exactly how that went down. So Kirkeper, who leads this race by about 18.3 seconds as Christiansen's into the pits and Bjorklund yet to pit. Again, they will lose the lead of this race. Once they've pitted, Meyer and Hayden will inherit it. And now it's 0.4 of a second between the two of them. Here is Alexander Wooers, who is ahead of Neno, who's then ahead of Rossef, and who is ahead of Thomas. So Rossef doing a really good job here of keeping Thomas at bay. Neno has just had a different coloured car just behind him. He's had a car behind him very close the entirety of this race. Some pressure that the Luxembourg drivers had to deal with, and he's done a very good job at that so far. We've then got Wooers, who is in the Aston Martin GT4. I haven't really seen too much of Wooers during this race, but he's just managed to appear up into P7. So having a very good job. This is good news for the Germans, of course. Germany racking up as many points as they possibly can. A little bit further up the road, though, it looks like Christiansen has caught up to Hayden. Wow, hello. Yes, so Christiansen has caught up to Hayden because they stayed out longer. The gap's absolutely nothing then. There we go. So that is the front three. So staying out longer has worked out very well here for the second Norwegian car. Christiansen with the better tyres now, sweeping it round the outside. Not sure you're going to be able to do that down towards Kopp's Corner. Does have the momentum, and if he can squeeze the German onto the inside part here, this is absolutely ridiculous if he holds it around the outside. He does. He will have probably got a 1x though, but as he heads down in towards Maggots and Beckett's, that might be moving the whole championship. The German car will definitely keep his nose in, probably has to there, squeezes Christiansen off wide, and actually holds onto the position again. So retakes P2. Meyer, by the way, looking in his rearview mirror thinking, this is beautiful stuff. Love to see this. This gives me a real easy opportunity of going out there and winning this race. But yes, staying out longer is definitely the play in today's race. Wow, so Kirkeper is in the pits now as well, and so is Bjorklund. As we see the move then for P2, that isn't going to work. Far too deep into Stowe Corner, and Hayden's going to go, well, nice try, but not going to happen today, sir. So there we go. It's still a P1, P2 for Norway, and then Germany in second spot. You've got Kirkeper, the Finnish driver, who is not going to come out and really trouble these three at the sharp end. Bjorklund, of course, isn't going to either. Kirkeper, by the way, has just done the fastest pit stop out of everybody, 35.8. And we will probably see the Finnish car. Oh, wow! I say that. Kirkeper's in the lead. Kirkeper has actually gone into the lead here. I didn't think he was going to get anywhere near the lead of this race, but he's come out merged alongside Meyer. I think Meyer actually is just about going to hold on. The better set of tyres, though, will be on that Porsche. And wow, how about this? Rupert Kirkeper, who managed to finish in third position last time round, behind Jarl Teyen and Anders Meyer, is out for retribution. He stayed out longer than everybody, and it is working out beautifully. So right now, Meyer would have been thinking, I've got this. This is done and dusted. No problem whatsoever. Christiansen battling with Hayden. I'm good to go. They did not think about Kirkiper. Well, maybe he did, but I'm just telling you now, this is absolutely on here. So Finland out of absolutely nowhere, who I said needed to pretty much win every single race to get themselves back in this championship. They've got a genuine opportunity here. The drive, though, off of the last or second to last corner, if this was the other layout. This wasn't the GP version of the circuit. Down through Copse they go, down towards Maggots and Beckett's. The drive that the Porsche's got out of there was absolutely exceptional. And right now, it's just about being patient. Let Meyer run wide. You just take the optimum line around this circuit and then try and punish him into a braking zone, into Stowe corner. You've got 5 minutes to do so. So you've got yourself, I don't know, I think it's going to be close here. It might be 3 laps. It could well be 2. Remember, it's 2:09 lap time. Around about 2:09 lap time. So we'll, as soon as they cross the line, we'll figure out exactly as to how long they have left to see whether it's 3 or indeed 2 laps remaining of this race. Down in towards the final couple of corners, and Kirkiper, I think, may have lost that opportunity. I think he had to get it done early. Right now, Meyer just defending beautifully well, although there's a slight mistake there from the McLaren. Porsche getting a really nice drive. Across the line we go. We've got 3 laps remaining here, ladies and gentlemen. So, yeah, an extra bit of time then for Kirkiper to go out there and get the job done. As you see, a fastest lap then being provided by Christiansen. So right at the death here, Christiansen's absolutely flying. If he had track position, he probably would be catching up to the front two. Hayden is actually catching up then to Kirkiper. Kirkiper is making Meyer run a little bit slower, maybe running offline ever so slightly. So the top 4 separated by absolutely nothing. Right now, there is a genuine possibility that if the front two start battling, it brings Hayden and Christiansen right into play, and we will see an absolute fireworks show of a race here at the end. Down towards Brooklands we come, with 2.5 laps remaining. A little bit of a mistake there from Kirkiper, runs a little bit deep. Meyer opening up the apex there nicely to get better drive on the exit. They're heading now towards the Hamilton straight. They'll come through Copse corner. Then it's Maggots and Beckett once again. You can see that Hayden visibly is closing that gap to the Finnish driver in front. Meyer finding a little bit of room to maneuver. Maybe a couple of tenths. It was merely a couple of hundredths a second ago, as they all run wide then on the exit of Copse, all trying to use the track and more. Any incident points that they've got left, they will be using them in terms of track limits right now. Through Maggots they will come. Then in towards Beckett. So you can see the completely different lines there that the McLaren in P1 and the Porsche in P2 are taking. You've got an Aston Martin and in P3, 3 different manufacturers. We've got 3 different countries here battling for the podium spots and indeed the race victory. We're on board with P4 then. Roger Fjellstedt, Christiansen. Then we've got Kirkiper in P2 battling with Meyer for the race win. Heading then down towards the final couple of corners here on the the third from last lap. I believe they've got 2 more laps to go once they next cross the line. Another mistake there from Meyer. Runs deep. I'm being told in my ear it's 1 lap remaining, but I'm pretty sure there's 2 more. I think there's going to be 2 more laps remaining. They're going to cross the line here with about 9 seconds to go, 8 seconds to go next time round. Unless there's a massive melee, of course, then it could slow them down. There's a mistake there from Meyer. Once again, so Meyer feeling the pressure for sure. Does Kirkiper try and send one here just to force Meyer offline? No, he doesn't. He actually opens up turn number 2 beautifully well in towards the loop. And Meyer turning in a little bit early. You can see here Kirkiper is absolutely stalking his prey. And if they do fight this lap, it does bring the other 2 into play. We are 38 minutes into this race, ladies and gentlemen. And the front 2 are separated by absolutely nothing. Does Kirkiper look for a move down towards Brooklands? He sends it down the inside. It's kind of a semi-send here. He's sent Meyer off the wrong line, which is brilliantly done. And now can you pinch Meyer onto the apex? Very difficult to run all the way around the outside here. Almost impossible. And well, that's exactly what has happened there. But again, look at Hayden. Look at Christiansen. They've now caught up. It's 4 tenths. It was 7 tenths of a second separating second and third. So they have closed up down towards Copse corner. They come once again for the second to last time. The Porsche looks so quick in a straight line. Is there the opportunity for an overtake? Does he get an opportunity to have an overlap in towards Maggots? I think if you get it this time round, you do not back out. He doesn't have that overlap. So now you've got to be patient. You've got to set yourself up towards Stowe corner. But as I've mentioned a couple of times, it's easy to defend Stowe corner. As you see Hayden now getting involved. Hayden loves to make an overtake opportunity. So the front four covered by just basically a blanket. You could just chuck a blanket over them right now and they'd all be under it. It is as simple as that after, what, 39 minutes of racing. We're going to have one more lap remaining after this one. And, well, it is absolutely anybody's guess as to who's going to come out on top here. So Maya, 1/10 of a second clear of Kirkeber. Kirkeber, the Finn. How patient are you going to be? Almost looking for a fake move there once again, trying to force Maya a little bit wide. Almost contact then between the two of them. Looks like they've managed to keep their noses relatively clean. Is there any potential scraps, though, to be picked up by Christiansen and Hayden? I'm not sure either of those drivers can go out there and get the race victory themselves. I think they have to effectively hope that the front two have a bit of contact or at least fight as a minimum. Here we go then. In towards turn number 3. Down towards the loop, which is turn number 4. Then we're into Aintree, which is turn number 5. The left-hander sets us on to the Wellington Straight, which takes us down towards Brooklands. Kirkeper, 0.3 of a second behind Maya. I'm not sure he's quite close enough to make anything happen here. He sent it down the inside last time round just to force Maya a little bit offline. Maya hits the braking point perfectly well. It's actually Hayden that makes a little bit of a mistake there. His entry was poor, but his exit was actually not as compromised, so it's nicely tucked in. You've got Christiansen just in behind. A lovely shot here, though, of the 3 competitors all trying to take Maya's race victory. Maya won last time out of Hockenheimring. We've got half a lap to go here to make it 2 from 2 here at Silverstone. Down towards Cops Corner we will come, and actually Maya's probably got the biggest gap to work with that he's had for the last 5 laps. Looks like Kirkeper may have run out of steam here to try and make the move for the lead. It might actually be a battle for P2 as we head then through Maggots. A couple of corners to exchange. You can see that Hayden just runs a little bit deep there. There's not a lot of aero in these cars, so once you start sliding out wide, it's very difficult to get that stopped. Maya just doing a sensational job. Maya is holding firm. Hayden's got a very good exit, though. Down towards Stowe they will come. The Aston Martin closing up to the back of the Porsche. And is there a potential move for P2? I think he's going to have to go for it. Heading up towards Stowe we will come, and he decides against going for it. We've got 3 corners to go. Looks like Maya is going to take the checkered flag, minus any potential mistakes. Does Hayden try and send one up the inside? It's actually a defensive move then from Kirkeper, which means on the exit he will be relatively slow. Can Hayden take full advantage? He's not quite close enough. We're rounding the final couple of corners here for round 4 of the NEEM Championship. And Maya, under some severe pressure, flashing those lights, will take victory here at Silverstone. It will be P2 then for Finland and Kirkeper. Hayden for Germany will take P3. And Christiansen from Tier 2 takes a top 4. Front 4 separated by maybe 0.8 of a second. Ridiculous stuff. Strategy did come into it, but Maya was really the common denominator. Led really from start to finish. Had a little bit of a challenge when Hayden came out ahead of him in terms of the pit stops. But after that, he got himself back into the lead, has not looked back. Great stuff there from Christiansen. Hofrichter will take a top 5. Wooers will finish in 6th. Neno does finish ahead of Thomas. 0.4 of a second separating those two. They were battling pretty much the whole entire race. Rossef did fall victim to Thomas in the end. Bjorklund in 10th. Greverson, Hobbs, Dittrich are in 13th. Oja, Livingston and Wild, they just swapped positions, actually top 16. Wild and Livingston swap positions again, actually, as Wilder finishes in 15th, 16th then for Livingston. A little bit further back then we will come. Jens Vack in 21st position. And is that the last driver on our grid? No, it looks like we've got Mark Gretarsson, yeah, in P22. And I think then that might be everybody. I think that's the full grid that will indeed come across the line. Oh, wow, that was pretty good. That was very, very good indeed. So congratulations then to Anders Meyer. 2 wins from 2. Norway, very happy. Germany getting some good results as well as Finland today. If you want to get yourself involved, ladies and gentlemen, let's go check out the calendar for you for the rest of the season as well, because this is not the end of the season. This is only round 4 of 6. We've still got 2 more events coming up your way, and you can still get yourself signed up for that as long as you are part of the 8 countries that are involved. Well, it's actually the official race results first then. So Anders Meyer, P1. We then got Rupert Augusti Kirkepogas, one better than last time out. He gets third last time, second this time. Timo Hayden in third. Roger Fjellstad Christiansen in fourth. We've got Lucas Hofrichter in fifth. Alexander Woolers in sixth. Loic Neno in seventh. Daniel Thomas in eighth. We've then got Eric Rosseth in ninth. We've then got Kim Andre Bjorklund as your top 10. Adam Greverson and Stephen Hobbs. We've then got Carl Lennart Dittrich. We've got Yuka Oja, Matti Wilder, Simon Andre Livingston, Peter Reed, Yari Lumajoki. We've then got Adrian Ranch and Jens van Eyck. And then at the back end, we've got Jens Vack. We've got Stefan Freya Margaret Tarsen. Gunnarsson did finish the race a lap down. Then we've got Ostring and we've got Zanocics, who are indeed DNS. Right, let's check out the rest of the calendar then, ladies and gentlemen, so you can find out exactly how you can get yourself involved in this season, because we've still got 2 more rounds to go. So here are the dates then. We have got a time attack happening on November the 2nd to the 15th. So if you want to enter that, you need to go to neem.gg, go get yourself signed up and take part. Remember, top 50 people will earn cash in their region. So if you place in the top 50, you will earn cash in December. And then the race where you are representing your country will be on November the 25th. That's going to be at the Nürburgring GP. And then December the 1st to the 13th will be the final round, round number 6. And the final race of the season will be December the 23rd. So there you go. Hopefully you enjoyed that, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure that you do indeed come and get yourself involved. There's 12,500 euros in cash prizes available. If you want to follow the championship on the social medias, you've got neem.gg or at neem.gg on Instagram. On Twitch, which you're probably on there now, make sure you hit that follow button, neem_gg. On Twitter or X, it's neem_gg. On TikTok, it's neem.gg. And then on YouTube, it is neem_gg. Oh, hopefully you've enjoyed that, ladies and gentlemen. My name's Luke Crane. This is the NEEM Championship Round 4 done and dusted. We've got 2 more coming your way later on this year. And we'll catch you all next time.